Hi and welcome back to what usually is the organizing tip of the day, but today I'm doing a decorating tip. Probably more than one decorating tip because I uploaded a big video earlier and then after like an hour and a half of uploading, YouTube told me you only could do 10 minutes, so all of that was for nothing, boo YouTube. So now I'm just going to do short little videos to quickly show you some decorating tips that I use in my home, even though I'm not really a good decorator. I've had some requests for decorating tips, so here we go. My favorite ultimate decorating tip of all time is the rule of 3, 5, and 7. I use it religiously, almost compulsively, but it always makes sure that everything looks good and I really don't have to use any brain power, which I don't have much of. So here we go. 3, 5, and 7. I also, and I'll explain that in a few minutes, I also love the idea of having a little bit of junk in every room. Not junk in the way of clutter, but junk in the way of something old and yucky that you've personally fixed up and made it a treasure. It makes your room more special, more, put your stamp on it, and doesn't make everything look like, you know, a showroom sort of thing. I also am addicted to words. I definitely recommend having a little bit in your home, whether they're personalized words on the walls that a poem that you like, an inspirational saying you've always liked, or just little words here and there. So I'll show you. And we'll start with a couple of rooms and then I'll make a second video going on. So here we go, part 1. You ready? And I'll explain first the rules of 3, 5, and 7. I don't usually use 7, 3, and 5, but if you're really good, you can use 7 as well. So here we go with my living room. You'll see here it's pretty coordinated, and I did that using the rules of 3, 5, and 7, and in this room I use 5 colors. Beige and a darker beige count as 2 colors. So if you have, say, like a brown and a lighter brown, those would count as 2 colors. Different shades count as 2 colors. So we have 1 color, 2, which includes the chair, a darker beige, 3, which is chocolate brown, which is also on my accent wall here and on my toy boxes, green, which is the couch, and it's also, you can see in the carpet here, and burgundy. So we have 5 colors total, with burgundy being the accent color that I've chosen. And then when I went shopping for art, it was easy because I just looked for ones that had that encompassed all 5 colors. Same with the area rug, it encompasses all 5 colors. Easy to pull a room together without putting much thought or effort or money into it. Basically everything in here is from Walmart. It's crazy. I also, of course, connect to the dining room, so I added some color. I usually have a table runner on. It's actually, they're both in the wash right now, but they're burgundy as well, and I made these little swooshes up here to tie in the burgundy. And you can also see here I have the matching picture. They're different, but they're together, whatever. That has all the colors as well. You'll see words. I thought that was my first word I bought for my home, and it's no going back since then. I had a little space here and a bigger space here, and I didn't know what to do with it. It looked off-centered, I guess. So by buying these words, which were only a couple of dollars from Jysk, J-Y-S-K is where I got them from, it just kind of filled in that little space there. I also want to show you how I use the rule of 3, 5, and 7 when placing objects on tables and that sort of thing. So if you take a look here at this old baker's rack that I've had since I was a teenager, I place 3, 3, 3. Always. 3, 5, and 7, 3, 3, 3. I place things in that order. It just is more symmetrical to the eye, and it looks less cluttered that way. I also use the rule of 3, 5, and 7 when placing furniture. Now, not all the time, but for the most part, especially if it's an accent wall or something like that. Also, you can see 3 things on tables. I'm a weirdo. That's just what I do. So you'll see here I had this armoire, and I placed something on either side for symmetry. So I have 1, 2, 3. Always the rule of 3. 3, 3, 3. You probably think I'm like some weirdo person. I'm just trying to be helpful by posting this because it's definitely helped me. I have no talent, so it has helped. And old junk. I forgot to show you. In every room, you have to have some old junk too. So this was my old junky coffee table. It's actually a glass top that's all scratched underneath. I've had it for years with like wood. And what I did is got some very cheap brown vinyl from the thrift from the fabric store, sorry about that. And I padded it and I wrapped it around and I staple gunned it underneath. I made it a lot safer for the kids who are running around my house because it's nice and cushy and padded now if they ever fell on it. Plus it looks a whole lot nicer than my chip scratch old coffee table. That makeover cost me about $5, and when people say, oh, it's a nice coffee table, I always kind of smirk because it's really a piece of junk that I fixed up. Gotta have a piece of junk in every room. I also have more words, of course, in my kitchen. I got the word indulge here, which we didn't have a backsplash. So instead of a backsplash, I needed something there, and I'm way too cheap for a backsplash. My husband's too cheap, I should say, for a backsplash. So I got the word indulge, which probably I'm going to blame for why I've gained 80 pounds. No, that's not why, but if you think about words being on your walls as being subliminally giving you messages, probably shouldn't have indulge in your kitchen. Probably should change that one, but it just seemed to suit the room at the time, and it's a nice touch on your wall. Quickly show you the hallway here. You'll see I again followed the rule of 3, 5, and 7 with 5 pictures. I just had these old yucky unmatching picture frames, but when you put them together with 5, they look nice. And a big important rule when you're doing pictures is that the middle of the picture should be at eye level, unless you're really short or really tall. The average 5'6", 5'7" person should be looking directly at the center of your picture on the walls. That's not to say that's the rule when doing it behind your couch, because it should be anywhere from 4 to 6 inches above the back of your sofa. But for on the wall, generally everybody hangs their pictures way too high. So you want to hang them at art gallery height, which is right at your eye level. So if your pictures are up at the ceiling, please lower them. It'll make a huge difference in your home. So you could see I also used words. I scanned with our scanner my kids' handprints and then printed them out on my Cricut. So it says, sisters make the best of friends. And I just printed it on my Cricut, and it makes me smile every time I look at it. It's just that something little that you can do in your home with words to just give it that personal touch. So now we're in my bedroom, and again here I followed the rule of 3, 5, and 7 with the color scheme, sticking to only 3 this time. And the reason I wanted to stick with 3 is because using less colors is definitely more calming, and it also gives your accent colors so much more punch. If I was to add more colors in this room, say a dark navy blue or a chocolate brown, the green wouldn't have the same impact that it has, and it wouldn't feel as calming. So my 3 colors in here are French silver, which is a gray blue on the wall, a darker blue that's in the pillows, and I also have an extra sheets and stuff that have the darker blue, and then of course the punch of green. White and black again are neutrals, so they don't count as a color, unless of course you're doing a black and white room where you have a third accent color, which I love the idea of that. And as soon as I have an art gallery, I'm totally like an art gallery, like a craft art room I should say, I'm totally having that. I'm having a black and white with like all my storage bins, and now all my throw pillows are going to be hot pink. I'm totally geeked for it. Not in this house, but someday. Yeah, so I'll show you the old junk in this room. I guess you can see I have a word, dream, and my old junk are these lamps, which I love. These are new shades actually. Well, they belong to the old lamps I used to have here, but I got these for $3 for the pair from a garage sale, and they were so nasty and ugly, and I just spray painted them green. And the tip when spray painting things like this is to wet sand in between coats, or at least before your final, like after your final coat. It just gives it a sheen, and it gets rid of that spray painted looks and makes it look like you bought them at the store. So I have these great old vintage lamps that cost me $3, and they give you that punch of color in your room. Love them. I also use the same green to spray paint the mats and these picture frames that I picked up for a couple of dollars, and they were like really ugly brown mats, but you can spray paint your mats to be your accent color. And there you have it. I'm going to show you the, I also made the headboard, sorry, and I made the curtains. They're not old junk, but it's nice to put your own personal stamp making little things here and there. I am in no way talented. I just use a staple gun and iron-on tape. My last words here are, if you can dream it, you can do it. I got them from Green Earth, and every morning that I wake up, that's what I look at. And my husband as well. I got them for him because he was contemplating leaving his job and starting a new company, and it was like, you know, he wanted to do it, but it was so stressful and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to get him something inspirational, and he thinks they're really gay. But I think they helped him make that decision, and he's doing really well now. And I think having inspirational words on your wall, maybe not as much as I do. He says it's like living in a book, but a couple here and there can really be helpful. Those are some of your decorating tips of the day, and I'll make you another video tomorrow.